Yo, what is going on, everybody? How you doing? You know who this is, the chosen one, Gabriel Skywalker from the DFS Club, coming to you guys with a UFC Vegas 50 fight card video, guys. DFS, DraftKings, FanDuel, you name it, guys. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave me a comment, either watching live or if you're watching on the replay, leave a comment on the replay, guys. Channel's growing, it's growing, and I have no one to thank but you guys. So thank you so much for that. Before we get into it, guys, if you want my lineups, ownership, projections, guys, top stacks, what? Lineups, what? DFSclub.com, guys. DFSclub.com. We do every single freaking sport. Let's bring this up here so you guys can see it. You got two providers in one, DFS Space, my brother from another mother, myself, Skywalker DFS. Again, you get every single sport, guys. Not just UFC, you get NBA, NFL, MLB, PGA, NHL, tennis, NASCAR, soccer, UFC, WNBA, college sports, guys, EuroLeague basketball. Just click join now. Click on my logo, Skywalker DFS. And look at these plans, guys. Are you kidding me with this? Look at this. This includes every single sport. All plans include everything. The only difference is the more you pay up, the more you save. Other than that, it's all access for every single plan. It's basically gold plan. You pay it for 6 months, you get 6 months for free. That's how it works out. Again, you get the members only podcast 1 hour before lock. We cover prize picks, sports wagering, DFS, you name it. We got you guys. You got my lineups, ownership projections, top stacks, every tool that you will need to become a successful DFS player, guys. So DFSclub.com. Don't you dare be sour. Join the winning team. Stop losing. Start winning. DFSclub.com. All right, y'all. So we got a very special guest today. I was on his show, Behind the Capper. If you guys have not seen it, go check out Behind the Capper on the DFS Whispherers YouTube channel. I'll put the link on here after we're done shooting. Easy. How you doing, man?
What's good? I'm feeling good. How you been?
I've been busy, man. Busy, good.
I feel that.
We got Smoothie Silk saying, where's Schroeder at? Schroeder's sitting right here, dude. Right here.
The most famous cat on YouTube right now.
Man, who you telling?
I mean, we need a whole episode with Schroeder at this point on Behind the Capper. That's gonna be a bonus, a bonus episode someday.
Oh man, can you imagine Schroeder having his own episode of Behind the Capper?
Hey man, we might just have to make it happen.
Hey, you never know with us, man.
We do
crazy stuff like that.
We've done it all. But how you feeling about this card?
As usual, man, I feel good, man. I put in the time. I watched all the fight tape I need to watch. Okay. I played these fights in my head. I'm feeling pretty good. How about you?
It's gonna be interesting. There's so many 50-50 spots for me. I'm still trying to figure out what I actually really like, but I'm looking forward to breaking it down and hearing your points and all of that.
All right, cool. Well, without further ado, man, let's get into it. Let me bring up Tapology here, guys. All right. So first up, we got Tufan. How do you pronounce his last name?
I believe it's Tufan and Chukwi.
Nchukwi, there we go, versus Azmat Merzhan, right? How do you pronounce that?
I think Merzhan is what I've heard all week.
That sounds about right. Let me fix this. That sounds about right. There we go. So let's bring it up. Let's highlight it. So Tufan is 7.4K on DraftKings. Azmat can be had at 8.8K. For my notes here, Tufan, man, he looked good at weigh-ins today. He looks solid. Dude's a brick house, man. Just muscled up, looking like an action hero. Striker, head kicks, powerful striker, man. Leg kicks. Loves the clinch. He always looking for that clinch, man. When he gets you in that clinch, he's throwing elbows, hooks, knees. He'll go for takedowns. Good ground and pound once he gets you on the ground. And he just likes to bully people in the cage, man. His
Yeah.
output's not bad. Asmat, is this his debut, right? Dana White Contender
Yeah, this is
Series.
UFC debut.
Yeah, he's a striker, powerful, likes to doesn't get paid by the hour. One of them fighters. Just from what I've seen, the output isn't that well, but when you got death touch in your hands, it really doesn't need to be. I think he's pretty fast though for his size. My pick here, I'm gonna pick Tufan. That's my official pick. What do you got here, Easy?
You broke it down pretty well, man. They're both a great fight to start the card, to be honest, because it's gonna be a banger. I think Tufan sometimes tends to watch his opponents a little bit, but honestly, it'll be a banger of a fight. But I'm just slightly on the Merzhan side because I feel like he's the better, well-rounded fighter here. Could mix in the takedowns, and his regional scene tape ain't that bad either. And he's fought some pretty good guys around, and he's even fought some heavyweights in no weight class tournaments and all of that, which is pretty interesting. So even though he's the smaller guy, he definitely is a strong dude and can hold his own here. And I just feel like he'll be a little bit more active than Tufan and can mix in the takedowns a little well to edge out a close. I'll even predict split decision.
All right.
On the DraftKings side of things, let me pull up the not ownerships, but salaries real quick because I think is Merzhan off like high 8K or something like that.
8.8K.
Yeah, I mean, if he can mix in the takedowns, that's not a bad price tag, actually. But we'll see as the card goes on if I'll actually end up having him in my lineups.
So your pick is Asmat, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Asmat.
All right, I'm going to take the dog here, Tufan, and let's see what happens. I mean, it's the first fight of the night, so it's going to be low owned. People don't want to lose the first fight of the night on their DraftKings and FanDuel lines.
And first fight of the night tends to make you a lot of money because it always somehow, unless it's Dustin Jacoby versus Specail, always creeps his way into the optimal lineups.
Very, very true, man. All right, next up, man, we got Guido Canetti versus Chris How do you pronounce it?
Moutinho.
Moutinho. Man, Chris Moutinho made a legend. It was like a real life freaking Rocky movie, man. I personally think Herb Dean stopped it unnecessarily. I think they literally. How many fights have you seen, Easy? It's still up for debate. Where a fight was stopped, where both guys were standing, no one was against the fence, and Chris was actually throwing a punch when Herb Dean stepped in to stop the fight.
Because Herb Dean had an inside the distance ticket on.
That's what I'm saying. It was really fishy, dude. They robbed this kid of going the distance against Sean O'Malley. Guido Canetti, 7.6K on DraftKings. Chris can be had at 8.6. Guido, man, he's a striker. Loves these freaking kicks, man. Mm-hmm. He puts everything into them too. But when he's getting punched on, he shells up, man. But he kind of like sets a trap. He shells up and then he'll like start throwing. He rushes forward. He can be taken down, and he's 42 years old, Easy.
Yeah.
And then for Chris,
43 later.
Yeah. And for Chris, man, he's a striker, always coming forward. Always coming forward. Great chin, man, as you guys saw that last fight. Horrible head movement, man. He does not block punches. He blocks them with his face, literally. Great cardio, man. He can go 5 rounds, I think. And he's the real live freaking Rocky Balboa right here, man. The pick for me is going to be Chris at 8.6K. What do you got here, Easy?
Man, this is one of those fights where I'm gonna just enjoy it. I'm gonna just sit back and watch this fight because I don't want to put my hard-earned money on Guido Canetti. And Chris Moutinho, I mean, we all love him, but let's be honest here. We all like him because he got his ass kicked for basically 3 rounds and, couldn't dodge a punch to save his life. And Canetti still has some power. Canetti could knock him out here because he has been finished before. The Sean O'Malley fight, you could argue was more of adrenaline. First fight in the UFC. A lot of stuff. Like, I'm just not confident either way. Like, if I go Moutinho, of course, Canetti's more of a 1-round fighter nowadays, but he still can go a hard 3. And mostly the people that are knocking out Canetti are way better than Moutinho, at least mid-level fighters And whenever he goes a step down, he tends to fight a lot more competitive with them. So this is one where honestly I just can't get a good read on. So I'm gonna just sit back and chill.
Here's another way I looked at this fight. UFC told Chris, "Hey man, we owe you one for coming in on short notice,
Yeah, true
fighting
that.
Sugar Sean." I think they might have given him like I don't want to say a layup because it's freaking Guido Canetti, but
Yeah,
at the same time they owe him a favor. Is this the favor? Do you think?
it could be. It could be. But I just feel like the favor could have been a little easier than Canetti. I feel like people are kind of sleeping on Canetti a little too much, but it's just hard for me to put my hard on money on a 42-year-old that ain't Glover Teixeira.
Exactly, and he's lost 4 of his last 5.
Yep.
Um,
The
that's just
strength of
how I'm looking
schedule
at
is
it.
definitely on Canetti's side, though, because I can argue that everybody that beat Canetti would beat Moutinho easily. And you
True.
can't say the same thing about the people that beat Moutinho or the people that Moutinho has beat.
No, very true. Very true. I wonder what color his hair is going to be for this fight. We'll see, man. All right, let's move along, man. Next up, we got Cody Brundage. I've been going back and forth on this one.
Oh
Cody
my
Brundage
God.
versus Dolice, man. Cody could be had at 7.9K. Dolice can be had at 8.3K. Cody's a kickboxer, man. Didn't really get to show it off last late. He got grapple. You know what? The whole freaking fight. He throws nasty leg head kicks. Lots of feints. Low volume though. Low volume. He looks for his shots. Poor takedown defense. And again, we didn't really get to see his striking. He didn't get to showcase it because he faced a grappler, and the grappler just kept him on the ground the whole freaking fight. Dolice, 8.3K. He's a powerful freaking striker, man. That overhand right is deadly. He also can go for takedowns, man. He throws a lot of punches, but he does miss a lot. He does miss a lot. So he kind of like that brawler style. I don't like the fact, too, that he backs up. And his cardio, kind of questionable, man. He really slows down, and a lot of it has to do with him throwing them heavy punches. He doesn't hold back, and when you miss, that gasses you out. He does have a good chin, though. He has a great chin. He can take a beating to give one, man. The official pick for me, I'm taking another dog here, man. Give me Brundage here, at 7.9K. How are you looking at this? Easy.
Shout out to Champion, one of the best nicknames in the game. But man, this is another tough one because Cody Brundage, he's a pretty good wrestler as well. And they both, Dodgers I want to say a black belt in judo. So they both got good takedowns. And like you said, Dodger can take a shot. Really, the only person that I know that has knocked out Dodger is Ankalaev, who's in the main events. And that was a brutal knockout, too. But yeah, like you said, he backs up too much, and being close to the cage in this in the apex as well, which is a smaller cage, could favor Cody Brundage a little bit more. Dalcha can be a little too low volume as well. Gas tank ain't the best, so honestly, everything is pointing towards Cody Brundage for me here as my first dog pick at 7,900. Not a bad price tag, and the way he wins, he could get takedowns, get control time, which is favorable now when it comes to DraftKings scoring. And still, a lot of people are not hip to that style of scoring, so that's still a little bit of edge you can have when building your lineups, getting these grapple heavy guys, because nowadays it's worth more to grapple somebody, like, grapple F somebody for 3 rounds than to get a first round knockout that's not within the first minute. So give me Cody Brundage here. I feel like the first round will be a little sketchy, or like the first 5 to 6 minutes will be a little sketchy. But if he could just get his wrestling game going, then he should win this fight.
Yeah, so we're both on the same side here. I agree 100% with your take. I think there's some live dogs that are barking on this card, man.
A lot of them, man. You can make an argument for pretty much every single dog except a couple.
Right, exactly. All right, man, let's move. Next up, I'm wearing her shirt, as if you
Yes,
guys haven't
sir.
noticed. Top Gun, Fear the Maverick shirt. I also,
Yes,
we'll get
sir.
into, I'll bring up her site. I also partnered with her to sell some merchandise. But we got Sabina Mazzo, the Colombian queen, going up versus my friend Miranda Maverick. Fear the Maverick. So Sabina Mazzo, 6.8K. Miranda, 9.4K. Since I have some bias here, but you know what? I feel
Mhm.
comfortable in this one. Here's the thing with that Blanchfield fight, right?
Okay.
I If I was her, whoever's in charge of booking her fights, I would have strongly tried to talk her out of that fight. What did she
Yeah.
gain from it? If you
Yeah.
win, yeah, you beat an unranked fighter. If you lose, you're knocked out of the top 15. I wouldn't have. I would have. Miranda's going to do whatever she wants to do.
True
But I
that.
would have really tried to talk her out of that fight. Those two should have been fighting like 2 years from now for the title, something like that. Um, you that top 10 in this weight class. You got a lot of old names in there that probably shouldn't be in there. That's just my take. And we all know the controversial freaking Macy Barber. She got robbed of that one.
Man,
So
tell
I
me
say
about it.
right. I say she's only on a one fight losing streak, to be honest with you. Sabina Mazzo, she was looking good, and then lately, not so good, man. Maverick is coming up on short notice here. Sabina, man, she's like olive oil, man. She's tall, she's long, man. When they faced off today, huge height advantage goes to Mazzo. Huge height advantage. She's a striker, man. Leg kicks, good forward pressure. She's always moving forward. Head kicks. I'd say she's pretty low volume. And I don't know, does she tap quickly? She did in that last fight, but she got dropped right before that. I
She
think
was
she
getting
gave up
her ass
after she
beat.
got dropped, right?
She was
Uh,
getting her ass mollywopped across the
woo,
cage, man.
man.
Agapova had that government issued crack pipe in that fight, boy. She was whooping. She was whooping Mazzo's ass, and that's why a lot of people lost money on Agapova last week.
Yeah, I wasn't. I
Me
took the
neither.
Ukrainian girl, but
Yeah, I was heavy on Morose.
yeah, I was surprised the ownership was so low.
Yeah.
But you got price tags here, easy. So we got
Yep.
Maverick. She's a striker, grappler, takedowns. She's very strong. She's farm strong, like Bryce Mitchell, man.
Yeah.
Powerful on top. If she gets on top, she's heavy on top control. Actually, she almost finished Barber in that second round of that fight. 9.4K though. Maverick's not known for finishing people. What do you think, Easy? Is first of all, what's your pick? Second of all, do you think this fight goes the full 3 rounds?
So when it comes to this fight on a DFS standpoint, I really hate the price tag for Maverick at 9,400 because it makes it really hard to play her in anything but cash. Now her style, if she could get the takedowns easy and just control Mazzo for 15 minutes, she'll score big. But Mazzo, she can survive on the ground. She may not get up, but you're not subbing her either. And she has way more volume standing. So if Miranda somehow struggles to get takedowns, Mazzo could be very live at 6,800 to put up something very reasonable. And if she wins, she will be on the optimal lineup for sure on a card like this. Like, it's Maverick's fight to lose, to be honest. Like, if I was going to the sports book betting this fight, Miranda all day. But on DraftKings, I'd be lying if I'm saying that if I said I'm not looking at Mazzo right now because of just how this fight could play out. And we all know how MMA judges are too, man. Like going to a decision with a big favorite like this, it's always greasy. It's always gonna be greasy. So DFS wise, if it makes sense, I might take some shots on Mazzo just to be able to fit some other fighters that I really want on my lineup. But Mazzo's not the only other 6K fighter that I feel like could be serviceable this week. So, and dang it, why are they both going up against friends of this channel? That's the part that sucks.
Hey, man, what you said though, I mean, that's completely fair. That's a fair statement for DraftKings purposes, for fantasy purposes. If you want to take a shot
Yeah,
at Mazzo, sure, she can get it done.
yeah,
In
yeah.
that 6K
But
range, and it's
honestly,
hard to get
though,
to Maverick at 9.4
man, it's really
until
hard,
I start seeing some finishes.
especially with everything around her too.
Right.
But if I'm being honest, though, Maverick should win this fight, and it's really her fight to lose.
Now, do you think so? Since there's so many, you make a good point. Since there's so many fighters around Maverick's price tag, you think she goes in low owned and gets a finish and might be on the optimal lineup?
I feel like she still will be owned as appropriately because a
All
lot
right.
of people on DraftKings still only look at Vegas odds. and pick based off of the Vegas odds. And she's if isn't she like the biggest favorite on the card, I believe, apart from Ankalaev?
Right now, she's minus 335. So
Exactly. So yeah, a lot of people will be trying to force her into their lineups, and I feel like she'll be owned about 30 to 40%. I can see that. I'll say anywhere from 30 to 40% owned.
all right, that's a fair take. So at this price point, we want to finish. She could get her
Yeah.
first finish here, man. She
Well, if she could implement that grappling style though, because Mazzo's not getting up. And if
no,
Mazzo can get up and get away from Maverick, then that's really a problem if you got Miranda Maverick in your lineups. And the third round is what scares me the most because we've seen some pretty sketchy third rounds lately from Miranda Maverick. And I want to say you mentioned something about that on Behind the Capper last night. So
yeah.
if we could see that third round improvement, then Maverick should for sure win this fight. But if Mazzo could just make any one of these rounds dicey, man, you're gonna sweat it out once Bruce Buffer or the other dude is reading out the scorecards.
Yeah, exactly. And she knows that. She knows she needs
Yeah.
to work on two things: her cardio, but she's over at elevation now.
Yep. Great team to be around as well.
Yep, and her takedown defense. She knows that. She's
Yep.
working on it.
Malzo actually does land takedowns of her own every now and again
Yeah,
too.
yep, she
So
does.
yeah,
But
the
I just think,
6800 is interesting, but it's Maverick's fight to lose, to be
yeah,
honest.
I just think she's gonna bully her. I mean, if she can
Yeah.
manage to get 4 takedowns or more,
Mhm. Yep.
have a lot of control time,
Yep.
and it goes the distance,
Now
maybe she
that'll
does
score
pay
high.
off this 9.4. Now, if she gets a finish at low ownership, you might be looking at something here. But the pick is
Yeah.
Maverick for both of us, I would assume.
Yep. Yep. The pick is definitely Maverick. I just had to give the people something to think about.
Right, right, right. And shout out to Cordell Maverick, her father, my other brother from another mother, and to Maverick German Shepherds, actually, where I got Smoking Joe from, my dog.
Nice.
So, all right, let's move right along, guys. We got a banger here, man. We got Damian Jackson,
Ooh.
7.8K, going up versus the captain, Kamula Kirk, Captain Kirk, man. So Damian Jackson 7.8K. Kirk is 8.4K. Damian Jackson, man's got great wrestling. Takedowns. Repeat. Takedowns. What? Takedowns. Good striking too, man. Head kicks, nasty head kicks, ground and pound. Grappling's decent. He got caught with that nasty elbow that last fight, man. Oh,
That's the
it
cardio,
looked
though.
like they opened up the water, the fire hydrant. It was just gushing. Thank
Mhm.
God it was late in the fight because the doctor could have stopped it if it was early in a fight. But yeah, that was a nice elbow from Dober, man, or whoever that was.
It was, I think it was called that
It was
trash
Rosa,
Boston
Charles
dude.
Rosa.
Yeah, Charles Rocha.
Yeah, that was a sick elbow that he did like that. That's not easy to do.
Oh, no.
Kirk, man, low output striking. I don't like that. Good get up game though. But it's a step up in competition for him here with Jackson, man, the vet. And another thing I don't like about Kirk is he accepts bottom position, man. Judges don't like seeing that. I don't like seeing that. I'm picking Damian Jackson here, and I'm pretty confident at 7.8K as another dog pick for me. What about you, Easy? How are you attacking this one?
This is another fight where I think we'll end up in the optimal lineup because both of their styles works very, very well with DraftKings. Either one of them, and the finish could be live here as well. I mean, Damon Jackson is a good grappler. Kamala Kirk is a legit black belt as well. So there's going to be a lot of sweeps, a lot of transitions, lot of grappling in this fight. If you're a fan of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, this is a fight for you. I do not think this fight will stay standing much, and if it does, I favor Damon Jackson on the feet. Damon Jackson's a strong dude, and Kamala Kirk, his gas tank is still very, very suspect. And there's one thing about grappling which I forgot to mention in the Maverick fight as well. Maverick could have suspect cardio, but if Mazzo's not offering much off her back and Maverick's the one that's just controlling, that won't be as taxing on her cardio as if she was facing some resistance. Now, in this situation, whoever gets the takedowns, there's gonna be resistance, and if Kirk's cardio is still very suspect, then Damon Jackson he can go all day. His cardio is elite, and he's one of those guys that uses his cardio as a weapon. So 7.8K is hard to ignore that. It's hard to ignore that price tag, man, and I just gotta go there. I like Damon Jackson. Strength of schedule. I mean, the only guy I think this is what last sub loss was to Yancy Maduros. I am pretty sure that if Camuela Kirk fought Yancy Maduros, he'd lose by sub as well. But then again, they're both pretty legit. So give me Damon Jackson, man. I just everything just
Yeah.
points to Damon Jackson here for me. Like the strength of schedule, even when it comes to the recency bias and everything, because Kirk just faced a pretty strong wrestler and decent enough grappler in Amir Khani, and some may argue that Amir Khani won that fight. And personally, I had Kirk in that matchup. He didn't score as much as I thought he would, but he still got the job done. So yeah, I like Damon Jackson.
Both on the same page. Easy. I love it. And
Uh,
dare I say, this one might be in the optimal, man.
nah, their style definitely works for the new DK scoring. So I will be heavily invested in this fight. If I were playing 10 lineups, I'd probably be 70-30 on the Jackson sides.
Yeah. I just think, yeah, I'm confident, dude, in this pick. 7.8K, too.
Yeah.
And that grappling, those takedowns, that control time score is really good. And especially if
Yep.
Kirk's going to accept bottom position.
And he will. He
Give
has
me
trash.
Jackson,
They
dude.
both have trash takedown defense because they're good grapplers and they believe in their grappling.
Right. Yeah, 100%. All right. Let's move right along, easy. We got a lot of fights on this card for our fight night
Yeah,
card.
for a fight night.
Whew. Next up, man, we got Trevin Jones. Sorry, guys.
Reserve.
Uh-oh. By popular demand.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. Schroeder, are you ready? He said, hell yeah, I'm ready. Versus Javet Vasseur, guys. Trevin Jones could be had for 7.5K on DraftKings. Javid could be had at 8.7K. Trevin Jones, man, grappling, takedown is his specialty. Uses a clinch to get takedowns. On the feet, he gets wobbled a lot, which is kind of scary. And Javid, his UFC debut, coming another Dana White Contender Series. Some believe in the Dana White Contender Series fade. I'm actually one of those people.
Me too.
But this might be the exception, dude. Jav is a striker. Great movement, man. Takedowns. When he gets you down, ground and pound all day. Nice kicks. He's got a great submission game too, man. This fight's going to go to the ground. I don't think either one of these two guys are going to want to stand there and bang. You got grappler versus grappler, basically. My pick's I'm gonna be on the favorite here on Javid, which is very rare for me to take a Dana White Contender Series debuting fighter. But man, I really like what I see from this kid, and I know it's a big step up in competition. But 8.7K, I think we get low ownership too. What are you thinking here, Easy? What's your shot?
Yeah,
What's your take here?
it's definitely a huge step up in competition. But I gotta say, man, Trevin Jones has been good to me in the UFC so far. Like he has cashed out for me because I took a chance on him in the Valiev fight, and I also took a chance on him in the Bautista fight. Valiev fight, he was mainly a punt for me, and in the Bautista fight, I just I was like, hey, he cashed out in the Valiev fight. I might as well go back here. But in this fight, like Trevin Jones before the UFC wasn't really known as a finisher, and he's got two knockouts. You could call them fluke knockouts, but man, in this fight, Basharat's pretty good everywhere. Of course, his strength of schedule isn't the same as Jones's, but yeah, this is one of those fights where honestly in GPP, I might just be 50-50 on each side. Because Trevin Jones, that's 7,500, man, and the wins he's had in the UFC, it's hard to ignore that. So 7,500, better strength of schedule. Basharat, as Sean is pointing out in the chat right there, has some pretty big holes in defense when it comes to leaving his chin up and hands low. So, yeah, and a guy with some pop like Jones, as he's shown us, that could be a recipe for disaster, as he's put it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he says you're on Jones. I can sense it.
yeah, I am, man, because he's cashed out for me before. So I'm going to rock with my boy, man. I'm going to go with Jones to get a finish here. Now, if he
All
doesn't
right.
get it done in the first 2 rounds, then I might be sweating it a little bit in the 3rd round. But let's go, Trevin Jones. So that's like, what, 3 dog picks in a row now?
Yeah, you and I have both been picking
Man,
dogs left and right.
I see.
We're not seeing eye to eye in some fights, but that's okay. And you know what?
Nah,
It's DFS, so we get exposure to both no
that's how
matter
it's
what.
supposed to be. We need to have a conversation a little bit. That's what the
Mm-hmm.
people want. Can't just
Exactly.
both agree on every single pick.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, no, don't no one show up for that.
Nah,
All right,
hell
guys.
nah.
Let's move right along, man. This one, man. I've been back and forth, dude. I'm still back and forth. JJ Aldridge,
Yeah, another
man. My
friend of
girl,
the channel.
7.7K versus a friend of the show, Schroeder's girlfriend, actually.
Uh-oh.
Jillian Robertson at 8.5K. I like what I saw last fight. I like to see. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of JJ. How she's evolving, man. Striker,
Mhm.
she's strong. And when they faced off, I expect Jillian to have a decent height advantage.
But it
No,
wasn't like that.
that was not the case. Um, JJ, she's ground and pound when she gets to the ground. She's got powerful hands. She has good takedown defense, but let's face it, Jillian Robertson's the best grappler in this division, and it's
Oh,
not even
yeah.
close. Not even close. She's got nasty body kicks. She can go. She's got good cardio, like most of these females do. Jillian Robinson, man, she's trying to build on that record at 8.5K for the most submissions in this weight class. She's a grappler, takedown, submission specialist. She gets them in them throat cuddles. Look at Shorter's already going crazy over here. I'm talking about his
I
girl.
see.
She's, her ground and pound is good. She uses it though to set up her. Yeah, that's what I thought, Schroeder. She uses it to set up her arm bars or whatever. But man, that last fight, those ground and pounds look pretty vicious, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 50-50 on this fight. I think I can see it going either way. The official pick for me, I'm taking another dog here. I'm gonna take a shot at JJ. But as far as like my lineups go, I'm gonna have probably 50-50. But the official pick is JJ here. What do you got here? Easy.
Hey, like Jillian says, it's submission over position, but it's another tough one right here because there's valid points for both sides. Personally, I'm a little biased to the Jillian side, mainly because she scores better for DraftKings. Like when she wins, you want her in your lineup because she's gonna get control time, gonna get takedowns, potential sub. And I just feel like she'll do just enough to win here. It's gonna be a 3-round decision. And if she could just bag 2 rounds for me, get about 8 to 10 minutes of control time, because I don't see Aldridge getting up if she gets her down. But don't be surprised too if she controls her against the cage or even gets her back on the cage. Because Jillian, like you said, is the best grappler in this division. So give me Jillian Robertson in this spot.
Yeah, I can't argue that. And let's just say in that last fight, what a piece of crap Priscilla Ketcha cheating is, man. You remember seeing
That's a
that? She trying to
beating.
gouge her eyes out on purpose.
Yeah. She did everything she could to
Oh my
avoid that sub,
goodness.
but still got tapped out.
How she's still in the UFC after pulling something like that, man, is beyond
And
me.
then win, and then winning in her next fight after getting punched in the face for 150 times. I'm not complaining. I had some Cachoeira in my lineup and it
Oh,
worked
I'm
out, but
complaining. I'm complaining. I had
but I
no
mean,
Cachoeira. I thought she
she
was
got
going.
upgraded
She lost
to
that fight.
she got upgraded to a purple belt after getting beat up for getting hit with 150 significant strikes and not even engaging in the grappling once.
No, she got beat that fight, but
Man, that's crazy.
I
That's
just think she's as a person, she's a piece of junk.
crazy.
All right, so we're on opposite sides here again. That's all good, but again, it's DraftKings FanDuel.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna have some 50-50, and I already know. Easy and I already talked about this fight last night.
Yeah, we talked
We
about it a
might have
little
some
bit.
differences of opinion on this one, Easy. But just look at AJ Fletcher's face right there. Look at that face. Look at this. Are you going to put your hard-earned money on a guy with a face like? Look at that. Just look at it.
I'll put some coins on it.
You got Matt Semi the Jedi, my man. Also a guest of the show, friend. I still talk to that dude, believe it or not.
That's nice.
AJ Fletcher, 6.9K. debut, coming off the Dana White Contender Series. You got Matt Semi the Jedi, who's just killing people within 15 seconds. Granted, the competition was kind of low-key garbage, but I don't care who you are, man. To knock people out that quick, you got death touch in your hands. So Matt at 9.3K, he's a striker. Powerful, dude. Good cardio. He's got a good chin. Remember, he went the distance with Chaos and actually won that third round. AJ Fletcher, 6.9K. This kid's a good prospect, man. He's got them little T-Rex arms. Matt's going to have a huge...
I was looking at his picture, and I'm like, yo, this does not look right at all.
Bro,
like
he got a little T-Rex. Like this. He's going to be like this in there, man.
I hate his body is just hilariously built.
Yeah, he's jacked, though. I mean, the dude's jacked. He's got some leg kicks. He's a wrestler, takedowns. He got that flying knee victory in that Dana White Contender Series fight. Head kicks. I think he's going to try and grapple here, go for some takedowns, and try his best to keep Matt on the ground, but good luck with that. Now, if you look at Matt's Instagram, this dude is in the gym 24/7 working, even right after his fights, man. I'm going to take Matt Semelsberger here at 9.3K. I'm going to go heavy on him because I think a lot of people are going to be on Fletcher here.
He's MMA Twitter's favorite underdog this week.
I don't get it. I honestly don't. I mean, the question is, do you think AJ Fletcher can go the distance with Chaos Williams? I don't.
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
We haven't really seen his chin tested yet, but, Chaos got some bricks in his hands, man.
Yeah, Chaos will knock the... I mean...
And...
Chaos is the next champion. That's my opinion. I love Chaos. I'm a huge fan of his. My pick is Matt's. Easy. What you got here, brother?
Once again, I'm going to just play devil's advocate for the fun of it here, but this is Matt's fight to lose, I believe. But there's that one little thing, man, that scares me, and this is wrestling. Because AJ Fletcher... his cardio, I'm still not convinced on it, but he has won a decision before. And there is actually a fight of his where you don't really see it necessarily on tape unless you dig really deep to find it, where he's got a, spinning heel kick knockout, I believe, in the third round. So he's definitely shown that he can go 15 minutes and wins. 6,900. It's a price tag that you can't ignore, man, especially if you think this fight is going to at least start in round 3. That means he has a chance no matter what, unless he's just getting mollywopped for 2 rounds. It's tough, though, with the wrestling upside, man. 9,300 looks good for Semelsberger, but he's going to need a finish because he doesn't really go for takedowns of his own. He's a pure striker. So if it's a 15-minute decision, then he needs a lot of significant strikes for DraftKings scoring to pay that off. And Fletcher, on the other hand, even if he wins a decision, 30 points, he's already about halfway paid off his price with a decision. And anything else that's added on top of it is just an added bonus for him at 6,900. It's not hard to pay that price tag off. So I'll say in tournaments, I will be having some shots at Fletcher. And Semi the Jedi, if I was going to the sports book, I'll throw something on him, but for the most part, I might just end up fading him for DraftKings and throwing some tournament shots at Fletcher.
That's fair. That that price tag 6.9K. If
it just feels a little too low, and if he turns out to be the prospect that we expect him to be, we'll never see him at that price tag ever again.
No. The thing is with Fletcher, it's just a big step up in competition, man. I know Fletcher's been around. But what was I gonna say? But Matt, that death touch, death touch scares the crap out. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it on this video. I think Matt knocks him out. No disrespect
I wouldn't be surprised,
but I think he sleeps him in the first round via KO and pays that off. But I think a good cash play would be AJ Fletcher. If he's going to get all this ownership as a dog play for your cash lineups, I think you go AJ Fletcher.
Cash play, yeah, definitely. He's basically just Yan Xiaonan from last week.
Yeah, right.
Nah,
Pretty much.
I still believe Yan won that fight and she got screwed.
Yeah, these judges, man. These judges. What are you gonna
Yeah.
do? How about this one, easy? We got Bruno Silva
Oh, that's my
taking
fight.
on the only man to ever knock out the last style bender, Alex Pereira. So Bruno Silva could be had at 7.3K. Alex Pereira, 8.9K. We all know Bruno Silva, man. He's a vet of the game. Good forward pressure, powerful striker. I did see some Instagram, though. He's been working on some wrestling. So
He,
maybe he might be trying to go for some takedowns in this fight. I'm just saying he could or he couldn't. Alex Striker, he's a kickboxer. He's still trying. He has a couple fights in MMA, but man, this kid got some power, man. Leg kicks, powerful and power in his hands. Um, Takedown defense, not too good so far. Throws some head kicks, flying knees. He's a kickboxer. Everything you would imagine out of a kickboxer. I think Alex is going to be very popular this week at 8.9K, and rightfully so. I think at this point, the UFC really wants this guy to win. I think they want him to win, win, win. And I think when it comes to money, I mean, how many people are going to buy a pay per view if you got Alex going up against the last style bender in a rematch? Just think how much that would sell. It's almost like a WWE, like Vince McMahon kind of like build up. My pick's going
yeah.
to be Alex, and I feel really good about it. No disrespect to Bruno Silva, he's a killer himself, but it just takes one from Alex, man, and I think it's a good step up in competition for him. It's a good test, but at the same time, Bruno is a live dog. Absolutely, he's a live dog. But my official pick is going to be Alex here at 8.9K, especially in cash games. What do you think, Easy? What do you got here?
Man, you giving me 7,300 on Blindado. Great cardio. Vet, 20 we're talking about 28 MMA fights versus 5.
True.
Now, Alex Pereira is legit in the kickboxing world, but MMA world is a little different, especially with a person that can't. I mean, Bruno's legit on the ground now. This is a dude that submitted Wellington Turman, something Misha Shirkinov couldn't do. And Misha Shirkinov is a pretty legit black belt. Turman is a legit black belt in his own right. And Blendado, I want to say either submitted or beat him in a grappling match. I got to double check that, but he definitely beat him in a grappling match. I got to figure out if he finished it or not. But still, he came out and said he wants to stand and bang with him, but I feel like that's just bullshit. I feel like as soon as the fight starts or as soon as he feels Pereira's power, now don't get me wrong, he can knock out Pereira too because he hits hard too. If anything, he probably might be apart from Pereira, he might be the next hardest hitting not welterweight, middleweight in the UFC. So I don't know, man. 7,300 with the strength of schedule that he has, especially in Russia, fighting all those killers, man, winning in the 4th and 5th rounds. And Pereira, his first loss was getting tapped, basically in MMA. And Bruno Silva at 7,300 is just too hard to ignore, man. It's too hard to ignore.
Is that the pick?
Yeah, that's my pick for this one, man. I
Ooh,
feel like
Easy
he's
got
one of
some
my
dogs, bro.
his
Easy's got them dogs barking, baby. Let's go.
man. It's risky. It's risky because Pereira can't knock him out. But Israel Adesanya rocked Pereira in that fight where he got knocked out. He just
Yep.
made one bad mistake and got caught. And when you look back at their first fight, you could argue that Izzy, the one where he lost in a decision, could have won that decision. So Izzy has gone a full fight with him now. I know the gloves are different in MMA and kickboxing, but still, you got to factor all of that. And Blindado has them takedowns, man, and he's a legit grappler as well. The easiest path to victory here in a small cage where it's not that hard to implement your wrestling. Take this man down, tap him out. I know everybody has been beating it beating it to your ears that he's practicing with a Glover Teixeira, da. Man, look, sparring and actual fighting is different. You're not going as hard, man, in them trainings as you will be in a fight. And Blindado 7,300, man. That price tag, just that 7,300. DraftKings doing us a favor. I'm gonna take it and run with it.
All right, you talked me into it. I will. The picks is still is Alex, but I'm gonna have
Yeah.
some Bruno Silva, especially at that price tag.
73, man. The dude has legit 120 plus upside easily.
Yep. All right. Well, before we move on, guys, we got to shout out one more sponsor of the show. She's fighting on this card. FearTheMaverick.net, guys. Check it out. FearTheMaverick.net. Use promo code Skywalker10 to get 10% off. 10% off at checkout. Look at all this gear she's got up here. She got shirts, hoodies, autographed MMA gloves, guys. This is a shirt I know she wears all the time when she spars. Accessories, you name it. Autographed photos, more hoodies. What? More hoodies. And reasonably priced. Hit her up on Instagram. If you want a personalized autograph, she'll work with you. At checkout, remember, use Skywalker10, promo code Skywalker10. Get some of this merchandise while it's hot, especially get them autographs while they're still cheap, man. Because give this young lady another couple of years, she's going to be fighting for that title. And those autographs could be looking really good on your wall. What do you got to say about this?
Oh, yeah. It'll look really good on your wall. And if you're one of those that collect to resell later on, if she ends up becoming champion someday, you're holding a very valuable piece right there.
Exactly. I mean, and I gave away a bunch of them as giveaways, and I mean, they're awesome photos too, man.
Hell yeah.
She'll personalize them for you. There she is doing it in her room, man. She's a grinder, but I'm trying to help her out, get her paid. These fighters don't make a lot, and I'm going to support her.
Shout outs on my channel for her too.
I appreciate that, man.
No problem.
She would appreciate it too. I'll let her know also. Yeah, guys, fearthemaverick.net. Check her out. Show her some love. What else was there? Just look for more merch to come. She's showing me all this new merch that hasn't hit the website yet, and it is fire. They have men's and women's. So you ladies out there, check it out, man. All right. So I'll leave remember, promo code Skywalker10. I'll leave a description and the link in the description below. So let's bring this fight back up. This fight card. All right. So we left off on. Oh, man, I cannot wait for this fight, dude.
It's going to be a banger.
All right, so next up, the worst haircut in the UFC. Drew Dober, 9K, going up against T-Rex, man, 7.2K. Drew Dober, man, striker, powerful, leg kicks. He's basically Justin Gaethje, a poor man's Justin Gaethje. Yep. Great chin, man. Good combos. He goes for takedowns. Mostly when he gets rocked, he goes for takedowns. Questionable takedown defense, I'd say. Not bad, but just questionable. T-Rex, man. This dude just fought 2 weeks ago. Dominated. Short notice, man. Wrestler. Striker. So his wrestling, dude, the way he was moving in that last fight. It reminded me of high school, man. He's moving out there like a high school kid with his freaking switches, and no one knows about his cardio because it doesn't go that far. He puts people out. Good ground and pound. He'll slap in a choke if he sees the opportunity. My pick here is probably going to be a chalky underdog pick. I'm going to take T-Rex here, Terrence McKinney at 7.2K. What do you got here, Space? Easy.
Man, I'm on the Dober side.
All right.
I'm confidently on the Dober side here.
All right.
Yeah, this is a huge step up, man, for Terrence McKinney. Dober is legit. I mean, Dober was about a top 5 guy until he ran into, Islam Makhachev and what's his name? Brad Riddell.
Brad Riddell, yeah. He won that first round too.
And think about this, man. Dober's chin is unbelievable. I mean, the dude's chin barely fits in pictures. Like the biggest chin in the UFC. Like, this dude is not easy to knock out. It's hard to even wobble him. Now, wrestling could be his Achilles heel, but still, he still has good get-ups. Every time Burdell got him down, he got back up. And also, the people that are subbing him, Islam Makhachev, third round, by the way. Benil Dariush, let me double check. Second round. And Obama Mercier, second round. Like, these are legit grapplers. And in my opinion, way better grapplers than Terrence McKinney. McKinney's gas tank is super suspect. If you take down Dober and he gets back up twice, you're winging bombs at him and he's not going down. McKinney's in a world of trouble by the second round. And what we've all seen, once his gas tank is gone, he's looking for the door. And Dober hits hard. I mean, Dober knocked out Haparaz in basically one punch. Like, I like Drew Dober a lot, and I feel like he's gonna go way lower on than he should be with all the McKinney love. And like we talked about yesterday on Behind the Capper, recency bias. Dober has lost his last two fights, albeit against top 15, arguably top 6 guys. And Terrence McKinney's beaten Matt Favola and who else? Fares Zion. But he also lost to Sean Woodson on the Dana White Contender Series by a flying knee knockout because he gassed out when his wrestling and grappling didn't work. So give me Drew Dober at 9K. I expect a second round finish. He could even finish him in the first round, to be honest. But yeah, give me Drew Dober at 9K and a potential low ownership as well.
Yeah, I love that take, and especially the low ownership take. Because if T-Rex is going to be chalk as a underdog, Drew Dober is going to be low owned at 9K. And if he gets that finish, you're looking at you're looking at a good night. So
yeah,
you make a very fair point. I'm not 100% confident in this pick, only because of the short layoff. But it's going to be It's going to be a fun one to watch.
Suspect cardio and short notice. I mean, it's just not. There's too many red flags on the McKinney side for me, man.
That's fair. That's 100% fair. All right, next up, man, we got Khalil Rountree. My man.
I could just go. I could go ahead and go first on this fight.
I'll let you go first. AK versus Carl Robertson.
This is for DraftKings. This is a PASS fight for me. I want no parts of this fight. Now, Khalil Rountree, man, you just never know what Rountree we're getting. And Carl Robertson has probably the worst fight IQ in the whole 205 division. If he could come in here and get takedowns on Rountree, he could score big and win fairly easily. If it stays in kickboxing range, Roberson is definitely live to get knocked out, but he can also beat Rountree as well. But they're both so low volume that if this is a 15-minute kickboxing fight, I want no parts of it. Zero. Now, if Roberson can land some takedowns, I may take a shot on 8,200. But yeah, if it's 15 minutes of just straight up striking, PASS for me.
That's a fair point. However, we got 8K Rountree versus 8-2 Carl Robertson. It's always these 8K versus 8.2K fights that always end up in the optimal.
That is facts.
My pick's going to be Rountree. The only thing that bothers me is he's always talking about retirement. That's another thing against him. Robertson, he's a striker, powerful, fast. He throws them head, leg kicks. His grappling's improved too, man. And both these guys are moving up to 205. They were 185. Now both have moved up to 205. So they're walking around in probably not Rountree. Rountree's probably walking around at 240. But Robertson, I mean, he's probably walking around in his normal, weight right now. So I will have the pick for me is Rountree, but I would have both. Because both are definitely live.
If I knew that Robertson would come in and land a takedown per round, at least I'll take a shot on him. But if it stays standing, man, this is one of those 8K and 8,200s where I'm not on the side of anybody. But normally I love these fights, and especially last year, 8K fighters were winning at a high clip. I track that too, because we do the members only podcasts and all of that. And I told them every single time, and I want to say if they fought 30 times, the 8K fighters won like 20 to 25 of them, and the 8,200 fighters only won at like 10-5. So yeah, I definitely like your Rountree call, but I'm slightly on the Robertson side if you had a gun to my head to make a pick.
Hey, I like it. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna have a little bit of both. It's just what version of Rountree are we gonna have? You sum that up 100%.
Man,
All right, next up, man. Woo! What are we gonna do here? What are we gonna do here, Easy?
it's
We got
another fight
Alex
where
Caceres, man. He is 7.1K on DraftKings. This is where I'm taking my shot. I'm not taking my shot on a Dana White Contender Series. Give me Alex here at 7.1K versus Sadiq Youssef. Alex has been looking great. I mean, he looked like a busted prospect for a minute. He built himself a little winning streak here, man. He got dropped in that last fight, what, 2 or 3 times?
yep, and then
Recovered
came
nicely,
back.
got back up. His fight IQ is phenomenal at this point in his career. He'll backpack you, go for a choke. Lots of movement. He's very active. We like high output for FanDuel, DraftKings, takedown, submissions. But then you got Sadiq Youssef at 9.1K. This dude is fast. Striking, overhand right is nasty. Good jab, good forward pressure. His takedown defense, though, is what I question here. Good get up game once you get him down. He gets right back up. But can he do it against Alex here? I don't know, man. Very low volume. What really, really stood out to me, let me fix this. There you go. Schroeder's messing it up. Was the low volume of Youssef. I mean, that last fight was really low output. I'm going to take a shot here with Alex at 7.1K, putting on this little winning streak. I think he's just getting going, man. And almost at that 6K range, this is where I'm taking my shot. What about you, Easy? What do you got here?
So I like Youssef a lot, but that 9,100 price tag, man, makes it rough. But I don't really hate the price tag. It's just he's not. Alex Caceres is tough, but I think Youssef might drop him at least twice in this fight, just like Troy did. And like Alex Caceres, even though he has the grappling advantage, I think this dude has landed like one takedown in his last 11 UFC fights. So he's definitely not looking to grapple. If he showed up here with his wrestling shoes on, then yeah, 7,100 looks a little bit better. But yeah, Youssef will have the speed advantage, will have the power advantage. Strength of schedule advantage, I might slightly give it to Youssef as well. I mean, because even though Caceres has been on a great run right now, I mean, the names on that win streak, Choi is the best one, not even about, is by far the best win. And you could argue that Choi fight another ref could have ended it.
True.
You could argue that.
Very
And
true.
then I want to say, didn't an illegal knee or something happen
Yep.
as well in that fight where Caceres had some more time to, gain his wits back, and Choi had just blown his gas tank at that point, and Caceres just ended up basically picking the scraps, which that's a good quality, man. When you see blood, when you smell blood in the water, go for it. But yeah, I'm a Youssef guy. I'm a big fan of Youssef. I feel like that Arnold Allen fight, he was struggling, but he found his way back into it later on. Give me Youssef here, 7,100 and 9,100. I wish he was 7,100. I would have been 100% on him. I think he'll drop Alex Caceres at least twice in this matchup, but the 9,100 price, I was hoping he was in the 8Ks, and then I would have been more bullish on picking him. But still, I like Youssef a lot here in this spot.
Yeah, that's the thing. After he got dropped, then he took that illegal knee flush right in the freaking puss.
Yep.
And still recovered, man. Still recovered.
That time to, clear the cobwebs a little bit. And remember, he was in the UFC cage.
Yep.
Like I said, if it was an early stoppage ref in there, he would have ended it. And Troy, we would not be talking about a Caceres win streak. And Youssef hits hard, man. He's quick and he hits hard. So Bruce Leroy might just take his first knockout loss here.
All right. Again, difference of opinion, but it's it's a DFS show, and this is what people want to see. Both aspects of two veterans in the game. All right, man. We got two left. We got the co-main event of the evening. I think we'll probably be on the same side of this one. We got
Most
Marlon
likely.
Morales at 7K versus Song at 9.2K. Morales does not look good, man. I think he's on his way out to Bellator. He's a
Yeah, or
striker
PFL.
or PFL. Powerful leg kicks, good one too up the middle. Nasty left hook. Questionable takedown defense, and I'm being nice. I don't think Son's going to try and take him down, but he might want to. I mean, Morales got no get up game whatsoever. Song's a powerful striker. He will knock you out with one punch. That right hand, woo, it's deadly. He also has a great chin, man. Great freaking chin. He'll take 3 to give you one good one. The pick for me is going to be Song, and I love the price tag at 9.2K. That's actually probably one of my favorite 9K fighters on this card. What are you taking here, Space? Sir, I'm so used to doing that from the members only podcast.
Nah, I
Easy.
feel you. I feel you. But yeah, Song is my pick here as well because Moraes, it's gonna be dicey in the first round, but like you said, Song has a good chin. I mean, he took some basically head kicks flush to the head from Kyler Phillips and kept on moving forward. Legit power in his hands. I mean, he knocked out Julio Arce. He knocked him out cold. And Moraes' chin has just deteriorated bad. Now, first round, you might sweat it a little bit, but after Moraes blows his gas tank, or if Son just touches his face once, well, yeah, we're singing swan songs of Marlon Moraes. How the mighty have fallen, but you know, that's the sport. That's the fight game. And he could go make some money in PFL. Because I think even in Bellator, man, he might struggle down there in that division. They got some legit men over there.
Yeah, Bellator's been they got some better fighters over there now.
Yeah.
They're like the WCW of old versus WWE, right?
I know.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I love that 9.2 price tag on Song. Like
Definitely.
him and Maverick, right? I'd probably take
Yep.
Song more
Exactly.
confidently that he's going to get a finish, right? Um, but yeah, we're on the same page, and I maybe we'll be on the same page on this one. Easy, maybe we won't be. You never know when the Whispherers and Skywalker get together, man. Last fight, we got the main event of the evening: Thiago Santos versus Magomed Ankalaev, guys. Thiago Santos could be had at 6.6K. Magomed at 9.6. Easy. Take it away, man. Who you got here?
I'm going Ankalaev, man. I'm a huge Ankalaev fan. Now, I don't know if I'm going to have him in my DraftKings lineups or not because 9,600 is just not an optimal price tag at all. Like, I don't care how good you are. Even Hamzat Chimaev struggled to pay that price tag off. Really, the one person that paid it off significantly lately has been Marvin Vittori when he fought Kevin Holland and put up like almost 150 because of all the control time he had and takedowns. But yeah, if I'm picking a straight up winner, I am super confident that Ankalaev can win. Now, we haven't seen Ankalaev deal with adversity much in the UFC, but dude is just so freaking legit, man. It's hard to go against him. I see him as a future champion. It's between him and Jamal Hill. One of them is going to be the future champion and reign this division for a good amount of time. And Santos is just on the decline. Ever since he blew out his knees against Jones, he just hasn't been the same fighter. That Rakic fight, absolutely horrible. Got choked out by Glover Teixeira. The fight against Johnny Walker, I mean, I fell asleep twice. Like that fight was so that fight was horrible. Just 25 minutes of them two staring at each other, trading feints, and just, I mean, a pillow fight would be more interesting than that shit. But yeah, Thiago Santos is just not the same dude that was out there knocking out Jan Blachowicz and others. So give me Ankalaev here and give me Ankalaev very confidently.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I can't take Thiago Santos. When I had to watch that fight again for
I would have told you not
research.
to.
That output for Santos, he probably threw two strikes around, man.
Man.
I mean, look who he fought too. Look who he freaking fought. You think he has a chance against a killer like this? I mean, I don't know how you can take a shot on Thiago Santos here at 6'6". I mean, they're just way better dogs to take on this card.
Hell
But I'm
yeah.
with you, man. But 9-6 is tough to pay off. However, if it goes 5 rounds and he
Different
has 10
story.
takedowns, like what, 15 minutes of control time. I mean, he could score a 150, but also Ankalaev, I mean, his output is not really one to write home about either. He's got, that death touch, and he
Yeah.
doesn't throw a lot either. But we're kind of at that price tag. You kind of hope that he gets those takedowns, that
It's the
control time.
grappling advantage, man. If he gets
Yeah,
Santos down, I think he's gonna sub him pretty easy.
yeah, and and Santos is a big guy too. So
Yeah.
I don't know. So
I mean, back in the day, I normally would say it's hard to bet against a guy with a sludge hammer tattooed on his chest, but I don't know. That sludge hammer is just a little, itty bitty knife now. It's an itty bitty hammer now. Like, he's just not the same.
what do you think, Schroeder? Well, I don't know. I think Easy looks pretty handsome there. You talking about Schroeder? Yeah, he loves Easy. So that's gonna do it, guys. We hit every single fight. Easy and I didn't always agree on the same fights, but you know what? That's what I love to see. That's what you guys love to see. And it's DraftKings and FanDuel. And like I said, just because I make picks doesn't mean I'm not gonna roster the other person that I picked against on some of my lineups. I play 5 lineups. I don't know how many you play Easy, but I roll with 5.
I roll about no more than 8, but for the most part, I really play between 3 to 6 lineups every
You're
week.
smart. That's smart.
Yeah. Because really, within 3 to 6 lineups, I could build the lineups that I like, and then I always have that one just in case everything goes wrong lineup,
Yep.
which always tends to save the day when everything goes wrong.
Very true. I just want to shout out the chat. We got Jacob in here. We got Douglas Woods. We got 100K Julio. We
Yes,
got Jigga
sir.
Josh. Always shows up. Josh is my dude. He lives in Atlanta, easy, but he's a Boston
Shout out.
Celtic fan. I don't know how that
Come on,
happens.
dude. How is that possible? Come
Him
on,
and
my
Space
man.
go at it every podcast. I love it.
Come
Sean
on,
V in the
man.
house. Smoothie Silk. Keith, Jordan, Dylan. Thank you guys so much. And if you're watching on the replay, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave me a comment down below. And Easy, the floor is yours, man. Who
Hey,
would you
man.
want? I mean, shout out. The floor is yours. Promote your stuff. Let's show Easy some love, guys.
Yeah, man. It's DFS Whispers, man, on YouTube. Check us out. We building the page back up, man, after YouTube messed with us. And always available on Twitter as well at DFS Whispers. And, I got a new show. Skywalker was on it last night called Behind the Capper. Go check it out on the channel, man. We had a lot of fun just talking. Not as necessarily as much about, any specific slate. We were just talking about, the backstories, the origin stories, the fun stuff. So always fun to do that. Always fun to come on the channel and talk fights. Got to do more shows on NBA and NFL season as well. But hey, appreciate you having me on, Sky.
Easy. I give the people what they want. And all week, is Easy going to be on your show? Is Easy going to be on your show? What? Is Easy going to be on your show?
What?
I said, man, if he works so damn much, I will try my hardest. And I'd love to have you on every week, man.
Hey, man, we're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
We're going
So
to make it happen.
I will leave the description for the DFS Whispers YouTube page, Twitter, in the description below if you're watching this on replay, guys. Yo, Easy.
Yes, sir.
Let's get this bread. Don't take shit from nobody. And we out, y'all.
We out.